So guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to change your CV joint. And all I've done now is, while the car is still on the ground, loosened all the lug nuts on the wheels, and just to speed things up a bit, I've also loosened the hub nut. Now these are really tight and you will need a big long breaker bar like this one. Now the only reason I've loosened this up first is just so I can get a little bit of penetrating oil down the back of it, because the CV joint is actually seized into the hub, so that'll just give that a little bit of a chance to seep through. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off all the way. As you can see now, it's not actually that tight. So now the reason why you do this while the car's still on the ground is because the nuts are that tight. If you was to jack the car up, then as you turn it, the wheel would just spin and you'd never get the nut off. But while all the weight's on the wheel, it comes off really easy. It's held completely still. Now when you're doing this, the first thing you'll come across, or one of the issues you'll come across I should say, is where the drive shaft sits inside the gearbox. Now the reason I've got this up at such angle, and I've also got the other side of the car off the curb, is so most of the oil in the gearbox will have sloshed to the other side, so should the drive shaft come out, none of the gearbox oil should come out with it. So that's why I've got the car like this. Now, the first thing you'll find once you took the hood nut off is this. Don't lose this, you will need it. It's just a big massive washer. Now with a bit of luck, this should hopefully come out of the hub. Now the reason I'm using a punch just like this is you don't want to hit straight on this, because if it mushrooms out it won't pass through the splines, and if it does go through the splines then you could damage them. So there is like a little hole inside here where you can fit a punch, so that's what I'm using. So the next thing we need to remove is this bolt here, and that is what actually holds the bottom wishbone in. We need to remove this in order to swing the hub out of the way so that this can be freed from the hub. using a really large lever bar, see if we can separate the wishbone from the actual ball joint. Now these can be very, very tight. There we go. I've freed the hub from the bottom wishbone. It took ages. It was pretty seized in there, and I'm only using basic hand tools, so you know things do sometimes take longer than expected. So next thing now is just to get the rest of this CV joint out of the hub. As you can see, there we go. And that, oh yeah, that should be stiff. And it just isn't. That is completely trashed. I don't know if you can hear that. Completely and utterly knackered. So now what you do? So now I've got to remove these clips. So these are the clips that you've got to remove. It'll eventually just snap. There we go. There's one. And then you've got a smaller one here. That's them off. Now this should just be able to be pushed up the shaft, out of the way for now. There we go. Now to actually get this off, there's a few methods. Simplest and easiest is to tap it off. There we go. A big hammer and it came off straight away, really easy. Now, if you look in there, yeah, it shouldn't move that easy. And that is essentially your CV joint. Now, I'm also going to take off this gaiter because I've got a new one. And now I need to run to the shed, get the ball joint, clean my hands up, clean this off, refit, put back together, job done. So we're essentially now halfway here. The only problem I can foresee at this point is getting this back in. Still, hopefully it won't be too difficult, so I'll come back in a minute once I've cleaned up and I've cleaned this up and show you how to reinstall it. First thing to do when you put the bat together is to make sure you put the gaiter on and you put it on the right way. It goes on this way, small end on first. Now it is a bit of a tight fit, but it will go on there. And then just push it up all the way a bit. Next thing, something that I've already taken off, is inside this groove goes one of these. Now you get a new one with it, and I do suggest you use the new one. There we go, it's on there now. Bit of a tight fit, but hopefully it should be okay. Now we get to the really messy part, and I suggest you put on some rubber gloves. So what you've got to do is pack this full of grease. You get 2 packets, and it is really sticky, really messy stuff. Look at that. And then just start off with a bit of a time, just start off with a bit at a time, and push it right down, all the way inside. See now why I said wear rubber gloves? What you want to do is you want to pack it in until no more's coming in, and around the edges it starts coming out, which it has here. There we go, that's now clicked into place. And what I do is I just clean around the edge. And then pull the gator down a bit and feed it over the CV joint. Wipe away any grease that comes out, because you don't want it splattering everywhere. Release any air that's in it. And then instead of using the steel clips that came with this, like the ones I took off because I haven't got a tool to put them on, in a lot of these kits now you just get cable ties. So that's what I'm going to use. I mean, granted, it's not that professional, but if the kids are coming with it, then I might as well just use these. again, just trim them off. Sorry. What you got to do now is rebuild it. Basically the opposite of when we took it apart. Apart from one thing I'm going to do, because my battery's about to die, is I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on these splines, and that will just stop it getting seized in again into the hub. So I should be able to remove it. It doesn't take as long. So yeah, I'm going to call this a day now. By the time my GoPro charges, it's going to be a few hours. I need to get this finished. So I've been Chris Dalton. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Catch you on the next one. See you later. Goodbye.